Hi everyone, this is Anna and welcome back to Anna's Take with the Twist. Today we're on location at the St. Lawrence Market North Building. I know, something a little bit different. So we're going to talk about the building because it's just been rebuilt. We're going to talk about a little part of the Esplanade. They do a lot of filming here. It's really pretty. Then we're going to go into the market, and then we're going to talk about something that every production does but no one ever really thinks about. I know, something a little bit different. So the never eat shredded wheat for the St. Lawrence Market North Building is, north would be King Street, east is Lower Jarvis Street, south right there is Front Street, and west is Church Street. So the St. Lawrence Market North Building is located at 92 Front Street. Now, I didn't realize this, but there's always been a farmer's market right there. The farmer's market started in 1803. And I'm not really sure what happened to the buildings prior to 1968. However, I do know that in 1968, the City of Toronto built a one-story building, and it was there until 2015. Someone for the City of Toronto had decided the building was being underutilized, which kind of makes sense because the building was really only used on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday for the farmers market and then Sunday for the antiques market. And really for being so close to downtown Toronto to have a one-story building on prime property, it did make sense to have it rebuilt. So the original budget for the St. Lawrence Market North Building was $81 million, and the construction started in 2019, so just before the pandemic. Then, of course, we had the pandemic, all the costs for everything went up, production for TV shows and movies stopped, obviously construction stopped, prices went up, and the building finally opened earlier this year in April. That's when it had a soft launch, and then it had its hard launch or hard open on Saturday, May 10th, which was a week ago, because today is Saturday, May 17th. Now, I will say that because the budget was $81 million, and of course there's always a budget overrun, no one really knows for sure how much the building costs, but they are saying it's over $100 million. I can't imagine it costs too much more than $100 million because it is only 5 stories. So I will say that there is underground parking. And when they were doing the excavation for that, they had archaeologists come in and they discovered some knives, ceramics, and also some butcher hooks, because as I said, that building right there has been the spot for a farmer's market since 1803. So the artifacts are on display. I couldn't find them, so I'm not exactly sure where they are on display, but I will, when I do find them, I'll let you know. They do a lot of filming in this area because it is really quite pretty. I actually uploaded a video on September 27th of 2024 titled, "Is That a Film Set? St. Lawrence Market?" Because they were filming the TV series Accused, and apparently they were filming a couple of other different things last week, which I didn't know of, so I'm a little bit disappointed about that, because usually I'm a magnet for TVs, for film sets, so like I said, a little bit disappointed. I will say though that I'm a little bit curious on how they're going to do Christmas here, because in the past what they've done is they've had Christmas trees from mid-November right up until December 24th, so I'm kind of hoping they do that again. And I'm hoping they have a full-on Christmas market. Now, I will say that the farmers market is open for vendors from 5 a.m. until 2 p.m. and that it's open for the public from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. That's only on Saturdays. Let's go over to St. James Cathedral Park to explore a little bit of that. So we're just facing King Street, and here's a little part of the St. James Cathedral Park. It's been revitalized. Even after it rains, there's still a lot of people here. See, that's a really pretty little statue. City of Toronto maintains this. Some of the money is actually from donations. So they have all kinds of benches everywhere. Nice new walkways. Now they have tulips, but later on in the season, in the summertime, we'll have different flowers. And then if you go farther up, then you'll see that they have a gazebo. Of course, they have the rest of the park over there and a huge playground for the kids, so it's really good. Okay, so let's go into the St. Lawrence Market North Building and see what the building has to offer us. The farmers market. Okay, let's go inside. Lots of different vendors. It's about 2:30, maybe quarter to 3. Some of the vendors are closing up. I guess they've had a good day.
Come down to it. The rest of the population.
Main entrance, facing Front Street. I just love the atrium. I think it just looks so pretty. So that's where they have the administrative offices, and that's where they also have the courtrooms. Chocolate. Stone ground dark chocolate and forest garden coffee. There it is. I think everyone needs a bit of chocolate in their life. And no, I'm not getting paid to do this little promotion here. We have some more vendors outside. So this right here that we're facing is Jarvis Street. So as I said, this part of Toronto is called Esplanade. It's actually really pretty. They do a lot of filming here, incredibly enough, for shows that you wouldn't even think of. So we have Jarvis Street here and then Front Street. That there in front of us is the St. Lawrence Market. That's the South Building that's been there forever. So St. Lawrence Market North and then St. Lawrence Market South. Gonna head over to the Market Square Park, which is still under a little bit of construction right now. Sorry, shiny object syndrome here. So cherry blossoms are $8 a bunch, and then we have the peach blossoms, which are $8 a bunch also. And then we also have apple blossoms. So pretty. So the fountain is still under construction right now. This right here is called Market Lane Park, sorry. Some condos. Then they have a bank. They also have here, which is the Imagine Cinemas. So this is not to be confused with the Imagine Cinemas that's on Carlton Street, because one on Carlton has the $5 movies, whereas this cinema here has really great reclining seats. Trust me, I know. I've been to this cinema a few different times, so I do actually highly recommend it. Plus, it's really close to the St. Lawrence Market. So you can come in, see a movie, go grab something to eat, or go grab something to eat, go see a movie, and then go hang out at the park later on. And this right here, I've heard a lot of great things about this. Sol Exotica. Sun Spray and Spa. And then if you just continue up, that right there is King Street. And yeah, let's go over to the park. So I'm standing right now on the corner of Esplanade and Market Street. And this white tent here in front of me is where they have the Sunday variety market. So it used to be an antique market, but that has been since moved. And now it's just the Sunday variety market. So that right there where the lights are is Lower Jarvis. That's where they have the Sunday Variety Market, which is kind of like a flea market. They have vintage clothing. And let's just head up Market Street. So it's pedestrian street. Everything's like just closed off, so it's really nice. You can enter into the St. Lawrence Market from here. You can sit and have a coffee. You can sit in a Muskoka chair if you want. Read, talk, do whatever. Let's go in right here into the lower level. Cards, clothing, chairs, all kinds of food. I'm not going to walk around the whole market because I've already done that in my other video called, is that a film set? St. Lawrence Market. So the market does have more hours now than it did before. Oh God, okay, that is just adorable. I'm sorry, I'm sure somebody would just love to have those shot glasses. Actually, this would be a great place to go to if you're ever in the market of buying someone a gift. Okay, seriously, how many men would not want to drink out of that? I know, right? So as I said earlier, this part of Toronto is great if you want to do a staycation or if you're a tourist. And of course they have washrooms just over there. When you see the sign, then you know that we're facing Jarvis Street. Okay, enough of this today. Going to do a little shout out because here we have Canadian honey and of course the maple syrup. And I'm just going to go upstairs. So the St. Lawrence Market has got a lot of different things. Uppercut meats. This building is huge. I love it. But I'm going to turn off the camera so you can come over here and explore it yourself because it is really great. And like I said, it's open from Tuesday to Sunday. That's right. So I'm still here on Front Street, but I thought I'd just do like a little bit of a walk. So this right here is the same side as the St. Lawrence Market. So it's the south side. They have a lot of different restaurants. Obviously a pretty, touristy part of Toronto. The north side right here has a Metro grocery store and has a pharmacy in there if you're ever in need. But just so you have an idea, it's a little bit more of a upper class area, I would say. Actually, they have this great place I went to for brunch. This is not where I went for brunch. I'll show you that in a moment. Just trying not to get hit by a car because that's important. It's also this part of town, like the Esplanade. This is actually also like an older part of Toronto. I think it's actually called Old Toronto for a certain section of it. The Hot House actually has a really, really nice brunch, if you're ever wondering. And that is on the corner of, oh, look at that, Old Toronto. That is on the corner of Front and... So as I was saying, the Hot House where I've been for brunch a few times is on the corner of Church Street and also Front Street. Great brunch, by the way. Every production has, or in my opinion, should have what is called a weather cover. So if you're thinking a weather cover, oh, I know what that is. That's a place that you go to when the weather's really bad, like maybe it's snowing or it's raining too much, because they actually do a lot of filming while it's raining, and they always tell everyone, just pretend it's not raining. Or maybe it's sleet or hail, or it's too hot. Sometimes that happens. Maybe it's too cold, or maybe it's just too windy. But a weather cover is more than just a place that you go to when the weather is bad. A weather cover is like your full-on plan B. So if all else fails, we're going to film here. So just because you might have a location that is intact, what if there's a broken water main and you can't get to that location? Or there's a crime scene now, you can't get there. So you always have to have what's called like a backup plan, and that is your weather cover. You always want to keep a weather cover, at least one weather cover, so like one backup plan, maybe like a plan B, a plan C kind of thing, because you never want to stop filming. Filming is very expensive, and it's very expensive to do the whole start, stop, start, stop. So you always want to keep your crew working like the 5 days a week, if that's what you're scheduled to do. You always want to have your craft people, the people who are going to be feeding you, available. You always want to have your transport available, and you just want to stay on schedule, because if you're not on schedule, it doesn't look very good. I mean, of course things come up, but that's why you always have to have a weather cover. So a weather cover is usually like in a studio, usually like one, maybe two actors in case something happens to some of the actors. You always have like that plan B. At the same time, keep in mind, right, that, you know, people have lives and things really do happen. So this is probably a little bit noisy, but this is my third spot for filming, this little segment here. I was originally in the St. James Cathedral Park, but there were too many dogs and there were too many kids. There was just a wedding, so that was loud. Then I went over to another location, which is always I call it my secret location. And that had too many helicopters because it's right by Hospital Row, which is University Avenue here in Toronto. And now I'm at what is called TMU, which is Toronto Metropolitan University. I'm on their grounds right now. And of course we have helicopters and sirens and squirrels, actually. So anyway, the squirrels I can deal with. It's the sirens and the helicopters that I'm having a bit of a problem with today. Anyway, if you like today's video, you can always like the video. You can always leave a comment, and of course you can always subscribe. Thanks again for watching Anna's Take with the Twist, and that's a wrap.